The SweetNight Twilight is a hybrid mattress with a medium firm feel. It's made of memory foam, transitional polyfoam, and sport pocketed coil base. It's available in two different heights, 10 inches and 12 inches, and is priced significantly lower than the average price. In our performance test, the Twilight had a well-balanced score, only really struggling with higher levels of motion transfer. At the top end, response time received a perfect 10 out of 10. From there, Edgeport, Sex & Company all had scores in the high 9s. A little further behind, we have cooling, pressure relief, and off-gassing, which all had scores in the low 9 range. Motion transfer was the lowest scoring category with a score of 8.9. In the end, the Twilight received an overall performance score of 9.40 out of 10. For reference, the average performance score across the 180 plus mattresses we've tested to date is a 9.51. The SweetNight Twilight has a firmness of 6 out of 10, where 10 is the most firm. This creates a medium firm feel, which is the most popular firmness among most mattresses we test for. Next, we're going to talk through what the SweetNight Twilight does best. First, the mattress has excellent edge support. In our test, it showed less edge compression than average and was subjectively reliable when sitting on the absolute edge. Second, the mattress is incredibly inexpensive. At the time of this recording, a queen-size Twilight is only $449. Third, the Twilight is great for offering a floating feel as opposed to more of a sinking down in the mattress feel. However, all mattresses aren't ideal for all sleepers. Let's talk through the important consideration points for the Twilight. First, it had higher motion transfer levels than average. While not terrible, I wouldn't recommend it for sleepers who are more sensitive to movements during the night. Second, I would caution side sleepers when it comes to the Twilight. The lack of sinkage, hug, and contour may not provide the correct spinal alignment support for many side sleepers. Third, the mattress is only available in full queen and king sizes. Your body weight and sleep position impact the types of mattress that are best able to support you. Our analysis is designed to help match the correct mattress to the right body types and sleep positions. The SweetNight Twilight has excellent support. In our test, I felt well supported in all sleeping positions. The mattress uses an 8-inch coil unit for support. This is thicker than the average support layer, which is 7.7 inches based on all of our tests to date. In terms of pure support, I don't expect the Twilight will disappoint most sleepers, provided you're comfortable with the pressure relief and comfort dynamic that we'll discuss later on. My only concern is that most side sleepers will need a little more sinkage, hug, and contour to feel better supported. As a result, I would recommend this mattress more for stomach and back sleepers and less so for side sleepers. Be sure to visit us over at naplab.com/mattress-quiz. There, you can submit your needs and preferences, and we'll send you back a personalized recommendation based on your inputs. Next up, we're going to move on to our individual performance tests. At NapLab, we test each mattress by analyzing according to 10 different factors that impact the feel, comfort, and performance. First up, we have our cooling test. To measure cooling, we lie on the mattress for 15 minutes, allowing it to absorb body heat. Then, we get off the mattress and take periodic measurements of the surface level temperature. Our tests show how the mattress retains and releases heat and overall cooling performance. Mattresses that breathe better, retain less heat, and sleep cooler are better as they allow sleepers to maintain a comfortable temperature. The SweetNight Twilight has good, but far from great cooling performance. During our test, I felt a slight to moderate level of heat retention around my body. Most notably, we have a more traditional viscoelastic polyfoam that is likely the greatest single contributor to the heat retention issues. While the hybrid design does help to improve breathability, it's not enough to cover the 4 inches of memory and polyfoam comfort layers that are holding onto more of the heat. All that said, this isn't a hot mattress by any stretch. There are absolutely warmer mattresses on the market. Even so, if you would describe yourself as a hot or a warm sleeper, this level of heat retention will likely be problematic for you. For the sinkage test, we lie on the mattress. In addition, we use a 12-pound medicine ball to test pressure point sinkage. Deeper sinkage can cause sleepers to feel overly enveloped by the material layers, while less sinkage can make you feel like you're sleeping more on top of the mattress as opposed to in it. Sinkage is a preferential factor. Some prefer more, others less. In our pressure point test, we measured a sinkage depth of 2.06 inches. This is 0.12 inches less sinkage than the average of 2.18 inches. The Twilight creates a very restrained level of body contouring hug. At 2.06 inches, the mattress is over the threshold to be classified as moderate sinkage, but just barely. The restrained hug causes you to sleep more on top of the mattress as opposed to sinking down in the mattress. The feeling isn't necessarily good or bad, but it is a more specific feel. If you desire lots of sinkage with a high degree of hug and contour, the SweetNight Twilight probably isn't the right choice for you. To test motion transfer, we place one 12-pound medicine ball on one side of the mattress and drop another 12-pound medicine ball on the opposite side. In addition, we use an accelerometer to objectively measure the motion generated by the medicine ball drop. Low motion transfer is better as it helps sleeping partners avoid disturbing each other during the night. The SweetNight Twilight has a moderate level of motion transfer. In our test, we measured a total acceleration range of 9.36 meters per second squared. This is 13.0% more motion than the average of 8.28 meters per second squared. Pocketed coil support base does create more bounce and motion. However, the 4 inches of comfort foam on top helps absorb a sizable portion of energy and motion. When we look at our motion transfer chart, which visualizes our accelerometer data, we see the highest motion from 0 to 0.14 seconds. Motion remains moderately high until 0.63 seconds. By 0.91 seconds, we return to near zero levels of energy. Mattresses with the lowest motion are able to disperse all energy within 0.3 seconds. Needless to say, the SweetNight Twilight is far from that mark. Nevertheless, given the relatively restrained level of motion peaks, I don't expect this level of motion will be problematic for most sleepers. To test response time, we place a 12-pound medicine ball on the mattress. Once it's fully at rest, we then quickly remove it and objectively measure the amount of time it takes for the mattress to recover and resume its original shape. A fast response time is better as quickly responding material layers better adapt to your changes in movement and prevent any type of a stuck feeling. The SweetNight Twilight has an extremely fast material response. In our test, we measured a mostly recovered response time of 0.3 seconds and a fully recovered response time of 0.9 seconds. The mostly recovered response time is 0.11 seconds faster than the average of 0.41 seconds. This faster response speed is fantastic, especially for a mattress that contains memory foam. However, the fully recovered response time was a little worse than the average of 0.84 seconds. Even so, the fully recovered response isn't slow by any stretch. The responsiveness speeds aren't at the same level as highly responsive polyfoams, coils, or latex, but for most sleepers, they should still be sufficiently quick enough to avoid feeling stuck. To run the bounce test, we drop a 12-pound medicine ball onto the mattress. We measure the maximum depth the ball sinks to before rebounding up, as well as the maximum height it achieved on the bounce. Bounce is a preferential factor. Some prefer more, others less. However, more bounce is typically better than less bounce as it improves ease of movement, aids in response time, and improves sex performance. The SweetNight Twilight has a high level of bounce. In our test, we measured a total bounce height of 10.09 inches. This is 0.44 inches more bounce than the average of 9.65 inches. Given the memory foam in the top layers, I was a little surprised to see bounce exceed the average. However, the coil unit seems to have a good deal of bounce to it, overcoming the energy dissipation of the top comfort layers. Ideally, I like to see 8 to 12 inches of total bounce. At this range, it's a sweet spot that maximizes the benefits of ease of movement and sex performance while keeping motion transfer in check. At 10.09 inches, the Twilight is well within my ideal bounce range. For an assessment of edge support, I lie on and sit on the edge of the mattress to measure the level of support and compression. Less sinkage while sitting and lying directly on the edge of the mattress is better, as it creates a more supportive edge for sleeping, lounging, and amorous activities. Edge support on the SweetNight Twilight was a mixed bag. Sitting edge support was excellent, but lying edge support was only good. In our sitting edge support test, we measured a sitting edge sinkage of 3.25 inches. This is 0.91 inches less sitting edge compression than the average of 4.16 inches. Even when sitting directly on the edge, I felt well supported. That said, lying edge support left something to be desired. During our test, I did not feel well supported when lying directly on the edge of the mattress. The pillow top creates more of a downward angle away from the mattress to the edge. When you lie on the edge, the body feels slightly angled, creating less than great support. On the plus side, it's not a squishy feeling. In any case, most sleepers will want to move at least a few inches away from the absolute edge to feel well supported. Our sex test uses a weighted formula to assess sex performance. Higher bounce and more supportive edges are the most important factors, with noise, pressure relief, and cooling being lesser weighted inputs. Mattresses with more bounce and better edge support perform better for sex, as do mattresses that don't make as much noise and are more comfortable to lie on. For the SweetNight Twilight, these individual factors generated a sex score of 9.9. This mattress has a high level of bounce and excellent edge support. These two factors alone carry 80% of the sex score. Noise is also minimal, with very good pressure relief and cooling. All things considered, the sex performance is...
This airplane's loud.
Thanks, Delta. All things considered, the sex performance is fantastic on the Twilight Hybrid. Compared to most foam mattresses, or really any mattress with less bounce or sloppy edges, this would be a step up in terms of sex quality. Our pressure relief test is a measure of overall pressure relief performance. We analyze materials, layers, thicknesses, density, and design elements in conjunction with a subjective assessment of our experience while lying on the mattress. Mattresses with better pressure relief are able to create a more comfortable sleeping surface. The SweetNight Twilight has a good level of pressure relief, but doesn't quite rise to the level of excellent or exceptional. In our test, I generally felt that the mattress did a good job of relieving pressure. However, I did experience noted pressure points in my shoulders. In terms of design, the Twilight has the basic material design I'm looking for. We have a good thickness of 12 inches with a 4-inch comfort layer. On average, we see comfort layers at 4.2 inches thick. The SweetNight Twilight is a little less than that, but nothing too dramatic. Even so, the foam quality and foam feel just doesn't blow me away. The feeling is a little stiff. The mattress creates more of a floating feeling and doesn't have much in the way of body contouring hug. It's these attributes that are greatly limiting the pressure relief. To evaluate off-gassing, we assess the mattress following the initial unboxing, taking a subjective measure of any strong smells. We monitor the mattress over a period of days until the mattress no longer has a strong odor. Mattresses with a less strong odor or an odor that dissipates more quickly are better. Off-gassing odors are strong as soon as the Twilight mattress is unboxed. The smell takes 10 days to fully dissipate. Compared to the average off-gassing period of 4.72 days, the Twilight is about twice as long. The company score takes a look at the factors that may influence your experience with the mattress. Factors include length of the trial period, warranty, shipping cost, return cost, and country of origin. For SweetNight, these individual terms and conditions generated a company score of 9.8. The SweetNight offers a 100-night trial period and a 10-year warranty. This trial is 63 nights shorter than the 163-night average trial based on all of our tests to date. In addition, the 10-year trial is also shorter than the average. I would recommend the SweetNight Twilight for sleepers who are looking for a hybrid mattress with a budget-friendly price. One of the biggest advantages of the Twilight is its value when considering price relative to performance. At less than $500 for a queen size, it's one of the better performance scores we've seen. Furthermore, I would recommend it for back and stomach sleepers as the mattress offers a somewhat minimal sinkage and less contour. From a performance perspective, I would recommend the Twilight for those who prioritize ease of movement as well as sex performance. The high bounce, fast response time, and excellent edge support all make for a mattress that's easy to maneuver on and reliable to perform sitting on at the edge. The Twilight is far from a perfect mattress. However, given the price point, it remains a solid value choice. Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. Comments or questions, please drop those notes down below. If you're interested in buying the Twilight, we've got a link in the description. For more from NapLab, be sure to get subscribed, ring that bell, and visit us over at naplab.com. As always, thank you so much for watching. Most notably, we have a more traditional viscoelastic polyfoam that is likely the greatest single contributor to the heat retention issues. Let's try that again, as if I know what the word contributor is before I... Well, it was contribution, so I was like, I need to change it. All right, anyway.
This airplane's loud, I'm sorry.
That's it. Thanks, Delta.
Man, that's one thing. My sister lives like 5 minutes away from the airport, like in the city.
Not really.
Dude, sleeping was rough.
Yeah, I believe it. I had an apartment near the Deer Valley Airport, which didn't seem like it would be a big airport or a problem when I moved in there.
When the plane takes off, it's loud.
Dude, it was like living on the deck of the USS Enterprise, World War II.
USS Enterprise?
Yes. Buzz in the tower every 2 minutes.
Was there an Enterprise, or are you thinking Star Trek, babe?
Yeah, that's why I said so.
Unbelievable. The Enterprise in Star Trek is based on the USS Enterprise in World War II, the most successful carrier of the Pacific Fleet that dominated the whole Pacific theater. Multiple documentaries on the Enterprise. Anyway, it was loud. And I complained to the office desk if they would let me break my lease early, and they're like, no. And also, it's not loud. It's not loud at all. And they're like, I'm like, what? Who are you convincing here? Like, you're just pissing me off. Oh my God, it was loud.